Support.
Can you explain that? Yes.
All right. The crazy cycle is you're not showing love to your wife, so you're not motivating your wife to show you respect.
Mm-hmm.
So the cycle continues where you're not showing love, she's not receiving love, therefore she's not showing you respect, and you need respect. So it's just a circle going on. It's just crazy, like one of animals just on a wheel, and it's just going nowhere, and nothing gets resolved when you're on the crazy cycle.
Right.
You just at each other, and nothing gets accomplished.
Yes.
You need to recognize that this is crazy. We need to get off of this cycle.
Yes.
Take a pause.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, you'd have had the agreement of when, recognize now. Sometimes you don't realize till when somebody probably knock on your door and say, keep it quiet down there.
Yeah.
Or something. Sometimes you don't realize you're on the crazy cycle. But when you do realize, you need to get off.
And the truth is, we will always go on the crazy cycle. Always, when I have disagreements, what we want to achieve is how quickly we can get off the crazy cycle. That's always going to be a part of our relationship because marriage is hard. Mm-hmm. You understand? And that's what I think is a successful marriage, is how quickly you can get off the crazy cycle so that your disrespect won't fuel in being unloving, right? And you being unloving won't fuel the disrespect. So that is what we always want to work towards. Getting off the cycle quickly, we'll forever go on it. But it's how quickly we get off.
But how do you get off quickly?
How do we get off quickly?
Yes.
Again, what we said, we do fire drill. Yes. Remember that you're on the same team. Remember it's a goodwill person. Remember that we are arguing about this and not that. Recognizing that, listen, I need a timeout right now. And once we can pull all of that into place, we're gonna get off that crazy cycle. Right?
And you know what works for me? What works for me, and I discovered this by accident, is that I recognized when I was away, I couldn't articulate. Let me tell you, women quick on the drawing. Sometimes you can't get in a word. You can't. You want to say what you want to say, but you can't think it up fast enough. You gotta outthink it that way.
Delrick have that problem.
No.
So when I'm away, I said, I'm sure I did say so. Trust is so. And then when I calm down, I get to think clearly what I wanted to say. So I start text. Start WhatsApp, start sending email.
Yes.
And when I send the email, I have time to erase that.
Exactly.
Fix it up so that I'm declaring how I feel. I don't have the neck ringing in front of me. I don't have the rolling eye. I don't have the snap finger. I don't have none of that to distract me. No, but I don't have any sort of verbal. Non-verbal. And I don't have back somebody trying to stop my thoughts. Mm-hmm. So I send an email, and when I send my email, after a while I see my wife answer back from her heart.
You have to think as well.
And she have to think as well. And then you find that the dialogue keeps going back and forth. When I come back home, it's a peaceful house because we've dealt with it.
Yeah. So sometimes
it's good.
Quick kind maybe here you're
the crazy cycle like Kim and I have been on. It was something that lasted a very long time. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe a couple months to be honest. Mm-hmm. Like where there's just every day there's just something. Mm-hmm. You know, and I got to a point when I was wondering to myself, what the hell is this like? Yeah. What is it that marriage break up like? Mm-hmm. Because if it's not, because our marriage is unique because we work together in the business, and we work very closely together in the business, right? And so then when there's problems at home having to do with family, and there's problems having to do with business, and especially going through a time COVID when everything was just down, and you know, that was the craziest time for us. And then I realized that, you know, it's not necessarily the person, it's just because what I noticed is that when she's not at work and I come home, I feel different towards her, to be honest. I don't know. When I come home, I see I feel different from when she's at work. Good
difference?
Yes, good difference.
You gotta be a housewife.
It feels good coming home and talking about how my day was. Mm-hmm. You know, that sometimes that's missing because, okay, you know everything about my day, me feel the same pain because you know whatever affects you affects me in the business. But how for me I was able to kind of come up to that was I just got to the point where I submitted in the sense where my wife always wanted me to partake in therapy, counseling. I was never the person who I feel like I was still gonna tell somebody my problems. My more problems than me. Tell my problems. What is it? And they can't tell me. You know, I always had a blockage when it comes down to that.
Yes.
You know, and then she just went by herself. And every time she gonna vex, and so she gonna talk and tell this man her troubles and tell this man I'm just there and I'm gonna say to myself, you know, I'm trying because but what's there to lose? That's why I please her. Please her, whatever. And I just went and like it was I realized that this thing can't work.
Yeah.
You know, and just kept going and it's I don't know, maybe if I never did that, I don't know if it works and there was so much to learn from those sessions and so I'll say to
I want to say to the camera,
you know, married and unmarried therapy, I'm a believer. I lived on both sides of that. And I was like a lot of people was like, I am not into this.
Right.
And I tried it on the first couple of sessions. I was like, so it works. Trust me when I tell you it works. And I mean,
like the first session, we left thinking this was the end of our marriage. You know, things, and I'll encourage people to keep going.
Yeah.
Because you have to go through the rough before you see the smooth.
Agreed.
Right? That first session, walk out the field. I'm not taking what I find me. In jumping out the car, I think he was like, you know, if I'm not fine, I just had to drive the car. But then I was just sitting away, just step away.
Yeah.
You know, and we went the next week. We kept going back because we are committed.
Yeah.
You understand? I think before you quit, you have to commit.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's
and
what
I think that's the true meaning of love, commitment.
Yeah.
And what counseling does, it teaches you some skills. It helps you to recognize things that are going on and how to work through resolving them, and then teach you some skills which you can apply now when you're on the crazy cycle to get off, because you're going to go there again. When you get those skills, you have a better understanding of yourself. So I'm going to endorse the counseling, right? And that really helps you to work through the cycles of what we go through in our relationship.
All right, so guys, this question I think is very important for the viewers.
Yes.
How do we motivate our partner to meet our needs, our love/respect needs?
I'll take that one.
Yeah, man. Follow your cue.
There's this very, very famous line that when it comes down to relationships and stuff like that, it sticks in my head. And it says, be the kind of person that you want to attract. Okay, so if I want, you know, love and respect from my wife,
cook breakfast for you.
then I have to show her. I have to initiate that process by being what, you know, if I want affection
Yes.
from her, I
Yeah.
have to find a way to show her some affection, and in return, I'm sure she's gonna show me back some affection. You know, so that's one of the things for me personally that I do. And I mean, we've been together long enough. I know her well enough. You know, I know how to stroke that fire when I
Yes.
want a certain kind of spark.
Yeah.
And everybody, I'm sure everybody, situation is different.
Yes.
You know, so for me, it's
Yeah. For me, it's a love language thing.
Yes.
Right? Speak my love language. And for me, it's acts of service. So you see, if you help out with the dishes and the place is clean and the car is nice, feel nice and mellow. Alright? And then I'm ready to respond in his love language, which is quality time and affirmation. Come sit down and watch a show with you and do what you like. And it helps. It really helps. He, however, when he's giving gifts, he's also a gift giver.
No, I'm a giver.
Right. That's what it's like. He loves to give what he likes.
I learned the hard way. that don't always work.
Yes, but it does help to motivate the person when you understand love language and you can speak it and express it.
I have a question though, Auntie Andrea. It's something that I find to be challenging. So we speak different love languages, right? But say for instance, I'm very affectionate and I want to be held and I want to be cuddled, and this one don't want to be affectionate.
Right.
And it's like you're pulling him out of his comfort zone. How do you get somebody who is just not natural in speaking your love language to actually feed your soul?
So hear me now. We're going to be very vulnerable here. I am not the huggy, feely, type of person, right? So I have to be deliberate. With certain actions, I'm going to tie it to giving him a hug, yes, and just being there. What was my thing? Every time I walk out of the shower, I go over, go hug him up. You understand? It became a habit.
Because I want my hug.
I just tied one thing to another. I do this action, then I do that. Something that feels yes, and create a habit.
And I love that habit.
So that's what we did for me.
Wow.
Yes. And it works. And I have to do it too for my children because I'm not naturally huggy. So I had to do things, make an effort when they come in. How was your day? Embrace, son. Did you have a good day? Right? So tie one thing to another until it became a habit and until it became natural. Okay?
So they say that I thought it.
This is not everybody. This is abnormal, right?
Well, let's get out of the show now.
Try to something like that. But I tell you something. We've had to form habits. We share one car in the mornings.
Yes.
That's deliberate.
Yes.
And when we come out of the car, when she comes out of the car and I drop her at work, she turns and she kisses me. And if me vex, still I get my kiss. If me happy, whatever my mood,
That's it.
we must share a kiss in the morning.
Yes.
And that works for me, it works for my wife.
Yes.
And it's become a habit.
Yeah.
You just know, say, and if you ever get up under the guy and I give him a kiss, what me kiss?
Also, that has helped us too. We have our individual time of prayer, but when we travel together, we get a chance to pray together. And it won't work for all couples, but for us. That has worked over the years. To the point now I don't want to drive at all and everybody must show for me because he's always driving. Yes, but that helped us. The car stops, we're going to do the kiss. It's forming a habit as well, so that helps.
And then the kids get to see this.
Yes.
They are sponges.
Yes, because they travel with us for a long time now, everybody drives it. But yeah.
So you have to communicate your love language to your partner.
Yes.
That will motivate them to know how to love you.
Yes.
Okay.
And not just only communicate, you have to be intentional.
So it's intentional. You have to be intentional.
Yes.
Even if you don't like it.
Yeah.
No, and you have to put out the effort.
It has to be.
And if you can't remember, what we did was we created a chart for the entire family. And we listed the 3 primary love languages for all of us. So every time you pass it, you can remember, right? And I have not taken it down. It's not something that you really put a lot of effort to, but something in your peripheral vision.
Yes.
Right.
Pick it up.
Yes,
Very
we will.
good.
Over time, you're going to look at this, or
That's a good takeaway.
Yeah.
Yes. Have that visible so you can see it and put it to practice.
Yeah. So I would encourage everyone out there to know your partner's love language, but outside of knowing it, be intentional about practicing love language. And the visual helps. As I said, I have a chart, and you pass it every day, you don't pay attention, but it sticks up. It sticks in the back of your mind. One day, you will. Sometimes you get up and you don't recognize that you're doing something, and that's how habits form. You don't recognize you're doing it until you're doing it.
Right,
You know? So you pass the chart and you say, oh, he likes this. Maybe I should just do it today, out of the blue. And then tomorrow you realize you start carrying coffee for him every day or whatever, you know?
So you can pass the chart and you go.
Yes.
But it's important to do the test,
Yes.
to find out what your partner's love language is,
Yes.
and make it a habit
Right.
to do these things. Had I known acts of service did it for her, you know how much money me I save for earrings? All it needed was I to wash some dishes. And I've actually found out that when I wash dishes from time to time, I get my thoughts in place and I'm thinking about something. So I'm doing other things while I'm doing that. But it makes her happy. You know, she come in and the kitchen is together. I don't always get it the way I want it. But
That's
but
great.
just the fact that I put in the effort. Oh God, the rewards are good, my friend.
And you know, there's something that I learned that you pair things.
Yes.
So, say Uncle Paul, you don't like to do the dishes, right?
Not necessarily.
But maybe you like to feed your soul or feed your mind. So you like to listen to a podcast that's feeding your
That's what I do.
happens.
Yeah. So you
That's what happens.
The iPod is over there and I'm listening to it while I'm doing something.
Yes.
That's what
exactly,
always
that's
does.
exactly the same thing.
That's exactly what he does.
Because I love listening to audiobooks, podcasts, watching certain types of videos. And when I'm around Chris is around me, she always wants to talk about something. At a specific point of what I'm listening to, I'm always have to rewind after we're done. Alright? So I find that when I wash the dishes in the morning, so I get up, I'm the first one to get up. I get up and I say, alright, wash the dishes, clear, make sure the sink is clean, or I just go one side, but listen,
Yes.
when Crystal wake up,
You're ready for her.
Yes.
You're
Pause.
ready to give
That's
her,
what-
to love her by listening.
I'm not always ready yet.
Yeah, but
But most of us
it's
just press
loving
pause.
her by listening. She feels love when you listen.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's good.
That's right.
I'm sometimes you come and no, I didn't.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, baby.
People.
And I just listen and then I realize she loves it, so
Yes.
You're doing
Yeah.
well.
Yes. Yes. She feels love when
It's
you
forming the
listen.
habit.
Yeah.
And once you get into that habit, because now, if I pick her from work, how was your day? What happened? One of the times she even had to say to me, Lord, make me unwind, man. Before you ask about my day, but I've gotten so much into the habit that she pick up the story and she said, okay, this happened today, that happened today. I wasn't like that at the start.
Okay.
But she needs her time. I give her some time to unwind. But then the habit is there. How was your day? How did whatever? How does it make you feel? Da, da, da. So I have learned. And then again, once kids come into play, they are sponges. So you are teaching, just like how Delrick said that he saw his mom and dad interaction.
Yes.
This is what happens. When the kids see this, they understand what marriage is about and they go into their relationships better
Right.
for seeing what is happening.
Yes.
And that's a part of the reason too, in terms of being intentional with our kids, for me, because just the same effect that it had on me growing up.
Yes.
Impact.
I'm expecting that
Right.
our kids,
Yes.
looking on, seeing the way that we live,
Yes.
the way we interact.
Yes. We choose partners.
It's true.
Do the same.
Right.
Yeah.
And it allows you to be really intentional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so one last question, guys. How can couples be more intentional about, taking responsibility for their actions when they're happy?
Yes, that's my favorite. When we were doing the love and respect, my favorite thing was your response is your responsibility, right? And everybody can control their response. So something is happening and you are impacted in a certain way, you can respond in a way that can cause your partner to just become more angry or to be able to sit and listen to you. And I've used the example before. Pastor Paul and I have been in heated conversations, right? And if our senior pastor called and said, all right, Pastor Andrea, can you do so and so? We can calm down immediately, right? Pastor, I could do so and so. So that means I manage myself.
Yes,
You understand?
can come right down
I
there.
can come right down and manage myself. So we have to be conscious of who we are and how we respond. You understand me? And it is what is inside of us. The author of the book, he used an example, are you a skunk or a rose? It's what's inside of you. And when you're being robbed, when we're on the crazy cycle and we are having arguments, what is inside of you will come out. If you're a skunk, the stickness will come out. If you're a rose, sweet smelling, yes, you're going to have a sweet fragrance. And all of us have some skunk and rose. But we're really trying to move towards responding in a way that your partner can receive what you are saying. You understand? And then we can get to where we really want to be. So our response is our responsibility. We need to take responsibility for that and move accordingly. Yeah.
And similarly, if you recognize you're wrong, there is a point in time where you have to go back and say, I was wrong. You have to own it. You have to own your part of the argument.
Yeah.
And resolve it, get it buried, sort it out so it doesn't come back. Because if it's not dealt with, it's going to come back in some form or the other. So better you get it resolved and just own your part of the argument.
And be responsible.
All right, so guys, we're almost at the end, but I want to ask you, what's the advice that you give to persons watching today that want to move into marriage, whether they're single now and want to become married or already married and want to stay married? What would that advice be?
Pastor, you can tell me on that verse, right? But I think it's Galatians, right? Wives submit to
Ephesians 5.
Ephesians 5.
Okay. Wives submit to your husbands, and then it goes on because a lot of us hear that part,
Yeah, the word submit.
and then just
Right.
We don't understand.
You don't understand
not
what submit
submitting to
means.
the man,
Right.
However, it goes on to my husband's favorite part. What did you say, honey? Men are to.
We don't hear it.
As Christ
We have to
loved
talk
the church.
up loud. We have to talk up loud.
Yes.
Project.
Yes.
Yes.
For me, the advice to married and unmarried people, and I'll go back to the point I made earlier, therapy. Because most of us are damaged in some way.
Yes.
You're broken.
Yes.
Things might have happened in your life earlier on that sometimes some things in your subconscious is just there lingering, and it's not until you would have unearthed these things in therapy that you know that, oh my God, this is the reason that I react this way. Not just to my wife, but to my kids, to my friends. And it helps. You might feel like I'm okay and I'm good, and the moment you just explore in terms of trying out this therapy thing, you realize that, oh my God, there's so much going on that I didn't even realize, and it works. It helps you as an individual, and it helps in your marriage. It helps you to keep on track. It helps you to be a better person in general. So I recommend therapy anytime, all the time.
Yes.
Thanks for that, Delrick.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to follow up on Kim with the submission. Both persons, the word tells us to submit to each other and to submit to the Lord. And the husband is required to do the harder part, love you like how Christ loved the church and gave his life for the church. And if you are submitted to somebody, submitted to the Lord, you know they have the best intention for you. You understand? And then you are willing, yes, to submit to each other. And, I also want to say that marriage is great. And people shouldn't go into it expecting that it's gonna fail. recognize that you're going to have challenges. But for us as believers, we have the Lord, we have the principles in the Word, and if we follow them and apply them, our marriages will work. Sometimes we fix it, go around there, sit down on the Lord and listen, you go, you have to apologize, you have to forgive, and you're like, Lord, me every time. You also have a saying, marriage is a tool and a test to deepen your relationship with the Lord. Right? So you get in the rubbing and you sit down and the Lord says, I need you to do this, and you go and respond, and it breaks something spiritually that you don't even understand. And when you apply those principles and apply the word of the Lord, trust me, you're going to go on the crazy cycle, but after a while, you're going to be coming off much faster, and you really enjoy marriage. I would marry him again.
Aww.
Yes, I know well friction, but it has been a wonderful journey. Yes. And the more we apply the principles of the word, we see where they are working. Yes. So I encourage you. Get married. Yes, if you're not, and if you are, just use the word of the Lord to guide you and enjoy the ride.
Yes, love that.
My one takeaway would be surround yourself with good friend support.
Family. Yes.
You need friends who will speak life into your marriage.
Yes.
You need friends who, when you're doing foolishness in your marriage, your friend come out and say, listen man, where go back home to your wife.
Yeah,
send you back home there and tell you, listen, go tell her you're wrong because you're wrong.
Yeah.
You need friends who will do that for you.
Yes.
You need friends who will speak life into your marriage, who will walk alongside you.
With the objective. That you can come to a chair.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Friend support and family support are vital for the survival of any relationship, especially marriage.
Yeah.
So if you don't have those friends, you need to find those friends.
Yes.
And sometimes we have to be open to receiving, because a lot of times, just like what Uncle Paul is saying, you have a friend who is honest enough to tell you you are being silly. You have to look within yourself, because if your initial response is a foolishness matter, right? You have to step back because you're not perfect.
Right.
And a lot of times, if you find yourself in that place where you're struggling with yourself, there's a book title that I heard, something about breaking the habit of being yourself. You have to recognize when you are the issue.
Yes.
True.
They're getting in the way.
Yes, when they get in the way of yourself, the marriage, of even your own friendship, because if you can't take advice from your friends, true. Sometimes it's very need to find yourself a therapist to unearth those things that are holding you back.
True.
Right.
Alright, so a lot of these principles that you've heard coming out came from the book Love and Respect.
Yes.
As you see on the screen, then no sponsor. If you're watching the video, if you want to sponsor, it's your one. But it's a book that I would highly recommend. That's helped Krista and I in our marriage, and they hear them. It's helping them.
Yes.
And it's only 5 years in marriage. Multiples of hours we're trying to get there.
Yes.
So we have found value, and I'm sure that you have. And if you have, like this video, let us know in the comment section what you found, what your takeaway from this video is, and just share it. Share it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed again. And we'll be having many more discussions like this in the future. So subscribe and click the notification bell. So until next time.
Bye.
Bye.